public participation for this evening? Okay, all right, well then we'll move on. Old business here. First item, as you may recall, last month we had a discussion of the MGT report on payroll, and we had an explanation from the company that created the report, and so it's on our agenda again. And I just want to know if anyone wants to open with some discussion of that report or talk about our adoption or changes or anything regarding the report. Jim? Yeah.
Who wants to start? Doesn't matter. I think some of the ideas you put in your memo were good, Karen, your email message, that we should show it to the employees for comment. And I don't think we should go on it right now because I don't think we've had enough time to digest it. I'm kind of against the philosophy of just giving a 3% raise to everyone across the board. I don't think we should do it that way. I think we should evaluate each person individually. You said in your memo or your email message, there were very few comparables. And, you know, I'm not sure I agree with that necessarily. I know that they did look at a few townships, and we all looked at some different townships as well, so I'm not sure about that. But looking at an average, I think that's a good idea. Your idea, that's a good idea, I think. And necessarily adopting salary ranges as suggested by them, I don't necessarily think we should do that necessarily, but I think we should take their opinion to heart because, you know, we paid them for their opinion for a reason, and their opinion suggested a range, so we should highly consider that and probably evaluate it so that each employee is evaluated individually, so that I would imagine, you know, I'd be voting for everyone gets at least the minimum. That's the minimum average, but maybe some people more and some people just the minimum. But obviously, I'm open to discussion about that. But I think a lot of the ideas you have to share it with the people and think it through and not do a rash decision would be my suggestion. What, if any, raises we're going to do after we've evaluated each employee's salary individually, because there's not that many people to evaluate, in my opinion, expect.
Okay, thanks for your opinion on that. I appreciate it. Anyone else have any comments that they'd like to make about the report and what we're going to do with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to, and this is probably what Jim means, but we're actually evaluating the position, not specifically the person. But I do think we should eventually come to some sort of agreement where we have a written salary schedule that has, you know, a high-low range for them, and then we can go and look at each position and decide where that position needs to be. But you know, I agree with a lot of what Jim has said and what Karen sent out, but I think we do need to make some changes, and I think it really depends on what the individual position is, because I think from that study, we saw that some positions were sort of where they should be, but some positions were very low for what they probably should be, and we do need to kind of get those all in line so that they're fair for everybody. So.
Okay, all right. Okay, anyone else like to make any comments about the MGT report and what we'll do with it?
Yeah, I concur with what James and Kelly just said. I think we need to digest it a little more, be a little more thoughtful, but I agree with everything that both Kelly and James said.
Okay, anyone else want to make any comments?
Good, thank you.
Okay, all right, and just for information, the highway department was not really participating in this study, so I understand you probably would not be making comments about it. Okay, all right. Okay, is there anything you want to say?
I did not what Jen said. I believe that we should wait for the final report, and you know, then we can look into that. You know, individually, all the employees. Of course, we want to raise the employee salary, but we have to wait until the final report from MDT.
Okay, all right. I think there is. We do have a final report, but you can take more time to look at it if you wish.
Oh, okay. And maybe we'll look at that one.
All right. So it doesn't sound like there is anything further that people want to say at this point. But correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone wants to say anything else. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next item. which is a discussion and possible vote of town fund and general assistance line item transfer. So, Dana, would you like to come up and just talk a little bit about this? As many of you probably remember, most of you probably remember, this is something I think we do every year, because at the beginning of the year, we create a budget and we try to figure out, almost try to guess how much we're going to need in each line, but we're not always exactly right as to how much we need. So sometimes we need to move items in the budget from one line to another. So would you just sort of, quickly go through your memo, Dana, as to what you're suggesting we do in terms of transfers?
Yes, thank you, Supervisor Diamond. So there's a memo in your packet detailing the line item transfers that we are recommending. It looks like this, I know you have a lot in your packet. Transfers for town fund and general assistance. Unexpected expenses such as emergencies, repairs, or price increases can quickly exceed our planned allocations. And of course, sometimes our initial estimates were underestimating the cost of something that can occur. So that's why we do these every year, usually in January. And at this time, we are recommending a transfer from contingency line items to respective line items that I have listed in the memo for $49,171.32 in town fund and $3,150 in general assistance. And just to give you a little explanation on some of the larger transfers that we're asking to include the accounting line item. If you notice that we're asking for a $16,000 transfer. That is because we did not account for 3 payrolls in March. Usually March has 2 payrolls, and we had 26 payrolls in a year, and this year we had 27. It was very unusual. So we had to pay an additional fee to Paychecks, our accounting software, and then also to our actual accountants who does our IMRF reporting and our bank reconciliations. So it was just an added cost for this extra payroll. And then if you look, town fund building line item also is kind of a significant transfer, and that's including a payment for the roof consultants, a couple large plumbing jobs, and paving of our parking lot. And these costs were not taken out of capital funds. We're looking to spend out some of the budget to make the most of our available resources. So we took them out of our building line item. And then on the second page, I have general assistance towards the bottom. And I'm transferring $2,800 to the emergency assistance program. And the caseworkers and GA, they're seeing more and more residents that need help with their rent. So this is rental assistance. In fact, for next fiscal year, the director at this meeting and I talked, we're actually going to be doubling their line item, so we want them to be doing this. And that is what we are asking for. So $49,171 in town fund and $3,150 in GA.
Okay, all right. I don't think we actually have a motion on the floor yet. So we have a motion to transfer transfer exactly $49,171.32 from the administrative contingency line item to the line items indicated on the memo in front of us, and to transfer $3,150 from the general assistance contingency line item to the line items indicated on page 2 of the memo.
So moved.
Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Okay, now that we have a motion on the floor, does anyone have any questions or comments about this?
Susan, one of the line items is from Cessor.
Yeah.
She's aware of that, right? She's not here today.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
Okay.
she's definitely aware of that.
She asked for that, is that right?
She asked for that,
She
and that was the
asked.
exact amount she gave me.
Okay, thanks, Dana. That's my only question.
I just was curious what the printed published $17,000.
So those are printing materials that we're going to be doing that just were not accounted for at the beginning of the fiscal year.
Okay.
Also a little spillover from our newsletter that cost a little bit more than expected.
Any other questions, anyone? Okay. May I have a roll call, Mr. Clerk?
Absolutely. Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Ledoux?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, we will move on then to possible discussion and possible vote on the creation of a full-time maintenance position. I'm going to ask Mike to come up here. Now, as everyone probably recalls, Mike is the head of department right now, and until now, he's had 1.5 people assigned to his department. That would be Jessica, and until he recently resigned, he had Steve, who is a part-time position. So I believe, Mike, what you're asking is that that part-time position be turned into a full-time position, so that you would have 2 full-time employees working. Is that right?
That is correct.
Would you tell us why you think we need an additional number of hours?
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you Supervisor Diamond. Good evening to everyone and to the board. As a township has continued to expand its programs, the demand placed on the maintenance department has become difficult to manage. In order to maintain the standards that are expected by residents as well as the staff, I'm here to request that the part-time position be turned into a full-time position again. The person filling this role should be qualified to step in should I be off of work and continue to work with Jessica without any hiccups. As things currently are, even if I'm not collecting, I'm always on the call since I feel that we are short-staffed. The township has done a wonderful job with any many programs, including by our admin, including on weekend, by admin, mainstreamers, and mainstay that we have never had before. The food pantry continues to grow, creating more traffic upstairs and downstairs, resulting in more time spent setting up, cleaning up once they are done, and in some instances, a quick turnover as we had today, where food pantry is ending, and right away another program is coming in. I would also like to acknowledge tonight Nate Rizzelli, who is not here in the media audience, but without him, I know I would be behind on quite a bit of my work. So I just want to say thank you, Tim, for going above and beyond. And so for these reasons, I am asking your consideration of having a full-time employee. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Well, go ahead.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. We used to have 2 people. It was you, when
Yes.
Dave was...
It was always, when I first started, it was Dave, Bill, and myself in there. And then as time went on, we ended up...
All full-time, right, Mike?
I'm sorry?
All 3 of those guys were
All
full-time?
3 of us were full-time at the
Dave
time.
was...
Dave was the director, then Bill, and then myself at the time.
So we're
At least 3.
Going back to how we used to have it in that respect.
Okay. So you feel like there's enough work for that person to have, 40 hours a week versus even just increasing it to like 30 or something?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
And I noticed that we often take Jessica away from her duties with maintenance and have her sit at the front desk or do
Yeah.
various other little jobs that where someone needs to cover her. So-
Jessica's been a great team player. I always try to do the same to, offer as much help as we can to the staff whenever we can. So, as Supervisor Diamond said, it does happen at times, but, we try to do our best just to help out and be there.
Okay, all right, I don't think we have a motion yet. Do we have a motion, please, to convert the part-time maintenance position into a full-time position, after which Mike can seek some applicants for that position?
Well, it says creation of it. So,
Well, it would be,
We're making one position full-time.
we're making one part-time position a full-time
Okay.
position.
Formerly
It's
held by
creating a
Chuck.
full-time position, but we're getting, I guess, getting rid of the part-time position.
Okay.
Converting it from part-time.
Converting it.
to full-time.
Okay.
okay. Well,
I don't know, however you want to read it.
Yeah, I'll just make,
Okay.
motion to create a full-time maintenance position.
Second.
Any discussion? Comments?
From the previous position that was,
Part-time, yeah.
okay.
Do you have an idea of salary range for a position like that, Mike?
Well, we were interviewing for part-time, but we were coming in at about 18 to 20. So if we were to, let's say we did $20, you're looking at a salary of $41,600.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. All right, maybe roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Levine?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks,
Good job.
Mike.
Next item on our agenda is discussion of, or rather approval of the resolution of the 2025 schedule of regular board meetings. So you have that in front of you here. I think these dates are, none of them fall on any holidays. Eva, did you check, is the 21st of November, that's not near Thanksgiving, is it? So-
Everything was checked.
Okay, all right. And December 30th, of course, is after, okay. All right, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-1, which is the schedule of regular board meetings for the upcoming fiscal year.
So moved. Second.
Oh, awesome, second. Okay, any discussion about that? Any concerns about those dates?
Do they fall typically on the same day, or are they vary?
Oh, no, I think they're all on Tuesday.
Actually, the last
Well,
Tuesday of the
Last
month.
Tuesday, yeah.
Last Tuesday of every month.
So they're easier to schedule. The final Tuesday of the month, stereotypically.
No Rosh Hashanah?
No.
Okay.
Okay. My only comment was I think some of that conflicts with other townships, but we don't belong to other townships, so. We're trying to go to a
You
meeting.
must
for
go
that.
hang out with the
You like going to board meetings, huh?
No, I don't. I think we should. I've been discussing that.
Spy with them.
No, it's to learn. It's an educational endeavor on all parties.
Okay.
Because they don't give merit stars or benefits of any kind just to show up at other people's board meetings.
Badge, with the sash.
Thank you.
All right, maybe roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay, all right, fine. Now I have in here discussion of summer parades. I'm starting to get emails already from organizers asking if we're going to participate. So there's 3 parades that we are typically marched in. I don't know if you want to continue marching all of these or what. The first one coming up is the Norwegian parade in Park Ridge, which is, according to what I read, May 18th, according to what I have seen. So, and the second one is, of course, May 26th, which is Memorial Day, and the third one will be July 4th. So, does anyone want to not go to any of those parades anymore? I mean, there's been some suggestion that on Memorial Day, it might make more sense for us to go to the memorial service in Des Plaines, and it's hard to make both of these events. And in the past, we've gone to both the Niles and Des Plaines parades, also hard to do that. But just they're looking for any direction as to what to do, so as to respond to these requests that come in.
I think going to the Norwegian Day Parade, and then, you're right, last year we discussed more of an observance of Memorial Day. So rather than marching in the Memorial Day Parade in Park Ridge, we would switch it up with the Norwegian Day Parade and then focus on just observing Memorial Day. We just like to serve.
Okay.
When is the Norwegian Day one?
May 18th, I think. It seems a little early, but I think that's when it is this year.
That's their Independence Day is 17th.
Is that a big parade? If I've ever
A lot of
heard of
Norwegians there.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty big parade.
I mean, would people be in agreement that we would, instead of marching in the parade on Memorial Day, we would march or rather we would go to the memorial observance and displays?
I mean, that's what I've been doing for the last several years. For me personally, it feels a little more fitting and more appropriate for the day. And then we can bring a wreath and a robust wreath.
Okay.
That's what I would prefer to do for me anyway.
All right. Does anyone have any thoughts or objections about that, or really?
I didn't have any parade,
I get my fill on the 4th.
And the 4th, do you want to try and do both, or just one?
I think he had something to say on that, Mr. Miller.
I cannot make it see right now. I think the election is on April 1st. So if all the trustees are here, and so then we can take the decision after.
Yeah, you can, it's certainly not that close yet, but
But even I will be not here, I will be attending Destin 4th of July.
you think both? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm going to Destin 4th of July.
Should we do the Niles one and display?
No, only Destin. I will do Destin.
I thought the 4th of July parade was a good parade. They had no problem being at home. As to the parade involving Norwegian Day, I have no comment on that. It's attendance. As to the Memorial Day event, I think that was a very nice event that Eddie was the lead on that. I thought that was very nice. So that, to me, that's a better deal than the actual event that they have going on.
Okay.
So I'd probably be more inclined to attend that personally,
All right, well,
but I'm close.
as far as July 4th, we probably still can choose our own. I think I already got a memo about the May 18th, so I'll respond to that one. But otherwise, that's good. All right, okay, let's go to official reports. Unfortunately, Susan was not able to join us this evening. But Ed, how about you? Would you like to
Sure.
talk about what's going on?
Just a couple quick things. I mean, I think we've been quite lucky this winter so far with snowfall. I mean, they're getting more snow in New Orleans than we've got here, so that's a good thing. We got our bids in for the large sewer lining project that we have going on in Glenview. We're just waiting on the finalist contractor responses as to when they can start, and then we're going to make a decision based on availability to start. Other than that, I attended a bike safety committee meeting at the Village of Niles the past couple weeks, and I was very impressed with the young students from Mark Twain who, saw active involvement in the process of putting a crosswalk near Golf Mill Park. So it was nice to see them getting involved and learning about how intergovernmental agreements and all that stuff works. So other than that, that's it.
So speaking of bike paths, can you tell us anything about the bike path that's been going in the east-west bike path? It's just north of, going to be north of Village Road or north of this place? I forget.
Yeah, so it's going to be on Church.
Church Street.
It's going to be a shared bike lane. Unfortunately, we can't have a dedicated bike lane because of the parking situation.
Does that mean where there's just like a line down the road? That's
Well, there's-
what the shared one means? Is that what it means?
Yeah, so there's going to be lines on both sides, updated signage, striping, all of that. We're going to be doing the sidewalk through the city of Park Ridge that doesn't have sidewalk, and then we're going to extend that sidewalk all the way east to Greenwood. We're going to be doing some crosswalk changes with the county, and then we're going to extend the sidewalk from Gulf Road, where there isn't one, all the way to Church on one side. So at least there'll be a sidewalk on the two main thoroughfares that connect to help get the pedestrians out of the roadway. So
Okay.
that should be a good project in the springtime.
Well, that's great, that's great. There's something I wanted to mention that actually Eddie and I have talked about a little bit, and that is hazardous waste disposal. All right, so hazardous waste is always something that's of interest to our homeowners, that is how to get rid of household hazardous waste. And Eddie and I have both been looking into that. I contacted the Cook County Department of Environment and Sustainability. They put me in touch with the Illinois EPA. I put in an application for us for holding an event, but I know they were getting a lot of applications. I haven't heard anything lately. So that's one option. Then another option is working through the Solid Waste Agency of Northern Cook County, SWANK, I think they call it, SWANK. There are a couple options there. One is they have an at-home collection process, but they charge $175 for each home. They work with a private entity called Clean Harbors, and they charge $175 to pick up from every home. Usually the resident pays $75 and the municipality pays $100. So obviously that's pretty expensive, and you probably have to put limits on how much you would be able to do. Another thing, they sometimes work with Swellco, which is Solid Waste of Lake County, to do an event, but I don't think they do that very often. But then, as I mentioned, Clean Harbors, they actually offer another program too, and this, Clean Harbors is a private company, and they offer events where they will recycle some goods. And I don't know much about it, Eddie. Have you talked to them much? I know they're asking about $4,000 to do such an event.
Yeah, which is actually a very reasonable cost for the recycling of some of the hazardous waste. I mean, there's a lot of the aerosols and the stuff that's in your garages. If you think along those lines, the stuff that's sitting in your garage that you want to get rid of and you don't know how to, that would cover that. I think that would be a great program if we could make it work in the future. They can't get it going that early. They're probably looking at towards the end of the summer at this point. So that would probably have to be a decision by the current board after in April. But I think it's a good event. I think the residents will benefit from it.
Okay, that was the timeline that they've given you.
Yeah.
All right, is your department following up on that, or should we be doing that?
I mean, I think it's probably going to depend on whoever's the new board members are to decide that.
Okay, all right. But it sounds like nothing we can get done in the next few months in any event. All right, okay, fine. So we're looking at a few different things. I suppose the only other thing we can consider is the household pickup. But again, that's pretty expensive. I don't know how many of our residents would want to pay $75 each to have someone come out to their home. Plus, we would have to pay $100 for each home visit. So that sounds very expensive. So anyway, I just want to let you know that is what we are trying to look at in terms of that matter. But okay, sorry, Pete.
Thank you. So I'll let everybody know that our office submitted the economic interest statement names, which would be all selected officials with Cook County, the clerk's office. And so in March, you'll be getting the email from the ethics department, and just a reminder, you have to file that by May 1st. So always kind of check your junk mail, because sometimes they do wind up there.
Oh, that's a good point. That happens routinely. It
Yes.
goes into people's junk mail. That's right.
So, well, once we know they're coming out, I'll send another reminder out, but just kind of everybody know that's coming. And then also we did submit the certificate of ballot for the April 1st election with Cook County. And then our office, if anybody needs to come and register in person, will be assisting people to register and vote up until March 4th. That's all I have other than my
Okay.
report.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Asa, anything you want to say?
Just want to thank all the Maine Township employees for their hard work. I have nothing else to report
Okay.
except that, so that's it. Thank you.
All right. Jim?
Next, okay. Thank you, Dana, for your report. I just wanted to shout out specifically and commend Michael Fitzgerald, our new employee leading the food pantry, and also Jack, of course, for securing the donation from the Salvation Army. These are two relatively recent hires, and I think we're showing that as a board we do a good job of, and our administration is doing a good job of finding really good people who do a really good job. And Michael and Jack, it seems to me, are great examples of very good hires that are doing a great job. So kudos to us. And also thank you to everybody who signed my birthday card. And I should name them all, but Pete's name isn't on the clerk's card, but thank you to the clerk's office.
I wasn't in that day. I wish you had a birthday in person.
It's really nice of you all to sign my cards, and I trust you'll keep my age confidential. I don't necessarily want to.
Keep calling me out, I might name it.
So, thank you, and that's all I have to report. Thanks.
Okay.
I'm going to share what I end up doing a couple times a year. It is now time for Maine East Spring Musical. It's going to be, well, not so spring, but it's Matilda. And so I will hang this up out there in the hallway. It's going to be February 21st and 22nd and 23rd, and then the following weekend, February 28th and March 1st. And there's going to be for evening shows. There's also a matinee. The matinee is also going to have a special afternoon where you can go and have cake as well, and all the characters are going to come around and mingle and in character. So it's going to be a good time. So make sure you go.
That was one of Jana's favorite movies.
Well, come
That's what I was just going to say, I'll have to let her know.
My son is going to be Matilda's dad.
Yeah, they do a great job now.
Feel free to scream out his name.
Yes.
And his honor.
Jackson. His
Yeah,
name is
Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
So this is our first meeting of the year, so it seems a little late, but Happy New Year to everyone. We did not have a neighborhood watch this month, but we are resuming the meetings in February, so date is February, next Wednesday at 7 p.m. So everybody is welcome, and hope you can make it, the residents. And then Jack, thank you so much for that annual report. That was was very informative and well done, so appreciate that, and that's it. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. And just a couple things that did not get on your, the second page of your agenda regarding things coming up. Here is going to be another vaccination event here. And I'm sorry, I can't tell you exactly. It's going to be like May 24th or 25th or 26th. It's going to be late March. If anyone wants to get COVID vaccinations or other types of vaccinations, we'll be doing that here. Another event that...
In the parking lot here?
I'm sorry.
The parking lot? The vaccination?
No, downstairs, probably, the vaccinations. No, this isn't the pet one, this is for the humans. So we do the pet ones too.
The last time there were all kinds of complications that we didn't give to you unless you had a certain insurance, right? The last
Really?
time, yeah.
I hadn't
There were obstructions going on, so hopefully there won't be as many.
Oh, I hadn't heard
As
this.
to whether or not you could get, the theory was you could get vaccinated if you were there and present in your home. That's not what happened. You didn't get the vaccine. It was a flu shot, and you get it.
Well, I don't know.
That's just my
Or why that
suspicion, but I think the other people probably used to.
Okay, all right.
We want to make it accessible to people before we advertise it. If they can actually get it.
All right, okay. The next thing I wanted to add as far as dates is the Township Officials of Illinois Lobby Day, which is April 29th. It's a Tuesday. I don't know that any of us have ever gone to this before. It's a one-day event in Springfield. So if that is something that you're interested in going to, it features an educational component, lunch program, meeting with legislators, and an evening reception. All that on April 29th. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and I'll make sure you have information about that. Also wanted to say congratulations. We have a number of compliments for our staff again. You see that in your board packet. Just a number of people who have written in and said thanks to our staff, thanks for everything they've done. There's one for Jessica, and a number of them just regarding the staff in general. All right, then, yes, a couple of things. So speaking of food pantry, hopefully things will be okay. We're getting more and more food, and we're just expanding the number of families every week, it seems. But we did receive this memo, which Michael forwarded to me today, which has been sent to us with the Greater Chicago. And they're saying the White House issued a memo to temporarily pause all federal financial assistance. They don't know yet how this might affect them, and which would in turn affect us. So we're hoping to get more details about this and whether it will affect the food that we can get from Greater Chicago. I think I did see a stay on that later this afternoon. So hopefully our supply of food from Greater Chicago will continue unabated.
And a lot of states are suing too.
Yeah.
Including
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that.
Yes.
Okay, and then I have one other thing here. I sent you another email about visiting Kids Above All's Better Life Distribution Center. Did anyone have any thoughts about this? That was an email I sent to you in early January.
Oh, yeah, about how, because they were requesting
Right.
funds, but then, because we're not going to visit every.
No, I don't think that would be possible, but I just sort of wanted to throw that out for discussion as to whether or not you wanted to go there or not, or what. I haven't given them a definitive answer yet. I just sort of said, I'll let you know later. So.
We have been invited before to the harbor. I mean, I've never gone. but-
I got a letter, I don't think maybe you guys got a letter this week from Journeys inviting us to visit as well.
Yeah, we got that too.
Center of Concern has invited us before, so.
Center of concern.
Can, I know if you want. Where are you located?
I think
There somewhere.
well, that's a good question. I thought Park Ridge, but maybe, I don't know, somewhere around here, I think. sorry, I don't have the address at my fingertips right now.
Years ago, they did tours of TLC.
Oh, at District Street.
Yeah, District 63. I mean, it's not unheard of, we've done it.
Okay.
We've been invited.
Does anybody want to suggest a date, or do you want to go on a certain date? They've given us several suggested dates, February 7th, 10th, and 13th. 9 a.m. on the 7th, noon on the 10th, 9 a.m. on the 13th. I mean, I don't know if you want to go.
I wouldn't be able to do those just because of work, but, I mean, if other people were able to go,
Okay.
7, 10, and 13.
Those are the suggested dates as of right now.
What month, Karen, sorry?
February.
February, okay.
February 7th at 9, February 10th at noon, February 13th at 9.
I could probably go on the 10.
Any other comments?
Anybody, I could go on the 10th.
Okay.
This is just to tour
You know, I think,
the background of.
I think they definitely give a tour. I don't know, they might offer lunch too, which I don't know if we would want to do or not.
Right, right.
Okay. All right, I'll say just a tour on the 10th? Is that?
Yeah, at noon, right?
That's what they're offering right now.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yes.
It's called children.
All right. Does anyone have any other events or announcements that they want to make? All right, then, Kids Above All Better Life Distribution Center. All right, so may I have a motion to go into closed or executive session for the purpose of discussing security procedures and use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual, or threatened, or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, public, or public property. And secondly, to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. So may I have a motion to go into executive session for those reasons?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Okay, we will be in executive session for a little while, and then I imagine we will return out here to complete our agenda. So, all right, thank you. In open session, do we take the roll call again?
Okay, Clerk Giuliano's here, Supervisor Diamond,
Here?
Trustee Jones,
Here.
Trustee Horvath,
Here.
and Trustee Maher.
Here.
By the way, before, well, never mind. Let's just move on. Okay. We are back from closed session, and we have a few items to address towards the end of our agenda. One is, number 10 is discussion and possible vote on approval of construction company for renovation projects. Based on our closed session, I don't think we have a decision on that quite yet. So I think we need to pass that unless anyone wants to discuss it further. Number 10, the construction company.
Oh, no, we're waiting for another bid, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. All right, discussion and possible vote on the full-time maintenance employee. We put this on the agenda at a point in time when we thought we might have someone, but we don't today, so forget number 11. All right, discussion and possible vote on hiring a shuttle bus driver. Now, we have discussed that matter, and I would ask that we have a motion to hire as a part-time shuttle bus driver, Mr. Robert Middleburg, if I'm saying his name right. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, and then discussion and possible vote on hiring 2 part-time OEM specialists. We have 2 individuals who were recommended to us. And may I have a motion to hire those 2 individuals, the names being Gerard,
Grabowski.
Gerard Grabowski.
Gerard, what is it?
Grabowski.
Oh, yeah, it's right here. It's, I've got it, yep. And
One,
Andrew Lekowitz.
we have Gerard Grabowski and Andrew Lekowitz. I do have a motion do we have a motion to hire those two individuals each as a part-time OEM specialist?
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
everyone.